Hill battle. Will they run on the fantasy island economic message? Where's the leadership? Where's the plan to fix this economic mess? Joining the company with an answer, Democrat strategist Doug Schoen. He's smiling. I don't know why.
Well, Stuart, because I don't think there is an answer.
Okay, but am I right in saying we are in economic trouble and that I don't see a plan and I don't see much leadership?
If we're not in economic trouble, this really is fantasy island. Because existing and new home sales are in the tank. Consumers aren't spending. Employers aren't hiring. And most of all, to your question, there just isn't a plan from the Democrats other than blame Bush.
Well, Bernard Whitman, who's been on the company all morning, will take you on about that. You've said the president has a plan to push money into small business and that will work. You don't think it's enough or it won't work?
Not enough. Not by November. Drop in the bucket.
Are the Republicans going to sweep in November, the House?
I think the House is almost a lock. The Senate, 7, 8, 9 seats. A wave election could be 9 to 10 seats. I think more likely than not, deadlocked Senate, House to the Republicans, all the energy out of the sails of the Obama administration.
What does the average Democrat think of President Obama at this point?
Likes him personally, doubt about where he's going, hope and prayer, I think, that things will succeed with the growing recognition that things are not doing so well.
Is it possible we will see some kind of September surprise, a big new plan from the president? Because we don't know what was really discussed on that conference call yesterday.
Well, if there is a September surprise, I'll be one of those who's really surprised, because I don't know what if there is that he could do at this late moment to turn around 9.5% unemployment with another 7 or 8% discouraged workers. Stuart?
Let me turn it over to your former and present colleague,
absolutely,
Bernard Whitman.
Dear friend.
Yeah, indeed. What are you going to say now, Bernard?
Well, I mean, my response is that the Democrats clearly do have a plan to push small business. The Republicans are absolutely void of ideas, which is why they've lapped on to the controversy over the mosque. It shocks me that at a time when the economy is so bad that they have actually stepped on their own message. And I think what it does is it underscores the fact that the Republican plan on the economy is also non-existent. At a minimum, I think Obama should do two things. One, convene a small business summit, get this small business bill passed through Congress. The Republicans are obstructionists in the hope of taking over Congress and using that to their advantage. Two, I would get the president out of Washington, send him around the country. The one thing he has produced is he is a good retail politician. They ought to move him out across the country and spreading the message about the economy.
Listen, the president's been on a tour since the first day he took office, traveling around the country. It comes down to one word, and I think Doug touched on this. It's confidence. The lack of the housing market right now, the lack of confidence in the economy, lack of confidence in our administration. Nothing will turn around until we get confidence back. And the president can be out there all day, every day. There's no confidence in Obama right now.
Is this the Democrat Party that you grew up in?
Not the one that I knew. I grew up in a fiscally prudent, moderate, pro-strong national defense Democratic Party, the party of John F. Kennedy, Henry Jackson, Hubert Humphrey, a party that was centrist, and Bill Clinton, by the way.
Would you still call yourself a Democrat?
Oh, I still call myself a Democrat, because Bernie Whitman is right. The Republicans haven't offered the kind of ideas that a moderate, rational centrist like me can align myself with.
What is wrong with the Boehner plan? Keep the tax cuts in place for at least a year for everybody.
Right.
Cut spending, in other words, don't spend the stimulus money that's so far unspent, and repeal key elements of healthcare reform. That is a plan. Wouldn't that restore confidence?
Well, I don't. You think it would, Stuart? With all due respect, I think it's a first step and only a first step. I think we need ideas, as Bernie was suggesting, to stimulate private sector employment. I'd go beyond just small business. I think you're right about that, Bernie. But we need things like payroll tax holidays to stimulate hiring. We need to cut the minimum wage so that minority unemployment goes up.
The minimum wage?
So we can hire black and Hispanic youth who don't have jobs with unemployment over 50%. That's a national crisis, Stuart. Anything we can do to get them hired.
You're not a Democrat.
No, Stuart, I'm a rationalist.
No Democrat will have a cut in the minimum wage.
Stuart, I am a rational person who wants to change a country that is in crisis. Rational people make novel innovations to solve problems. You know that. I know that. What's right is right. It's not partisan.
10 seconds, last word, Tracy?
Albert Einstein said that the definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over again, and that's what we're doing, sir. We're spending over and over and over again, and it's going to continue as long as this president stays in office.
Well, I'm not here to advocate President Obama's defeat. I am here to advocate different policies and a different approach. Cutting spending, balancing the budget makes sense. If we do that combined with stimulating the economy like Bernie and I want to do, maybe, just maybe, we'll find the gap between the Republicans and the Democrats and find fiscal sanity.
I can feel them coming at me now, the emails. I think there's a deluge of emails coming about that minimum wage thing. Doug Schoen, a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Google is announcing that it will